Well, I'd like to see you come up here and do one of these
Shut the
problems.
fuck up talking to me, Mr. Johnson, before I come knock the motherfucking glasses off your face. And that's on my dick or my head.
Didn't I tell you earlier today, I said,
Shut the fuck up talking to me!
Markel, I said I do not talk to you that way, and I would appreciate it if you did not talk
Shut
to me.
the fuck up talking to me!
This is
Wow, that was crazy. A child like that, when I see somebody like that, it makes me wonder what's going on in that home. Like, what kind of environment are they living in? Because that young man, he had too much rage and anger in him. And it gave me a flashback to when I was in junior high. Back then, teachers were allowed to paddle kids. And usually it was the same kids. But it was nothing close to what we saw in that video. But if we were out of line, the teacher could take us in the hallway and he could paddle us. So looking at that video, a lot of times kids nowadays, they don't have no accountability. The schools can't do anything, and I feel sorry for these teachers. But that's just the way it is. And I want you to listen to this one lady. She's gonna go into further detail.
I noticed there was a difference in the way the boys at the facility responded to me versus the way they responded to the male staff at the facility. It went something like this. Me. Mr. So-and-so, please pull up your pants. Get back in line. Boy, yes ma'am. And he would follow my directive. When a male staff interacted with the boy, it went something like this. Mr. So-and-so, pull up your pants, sir. Get back in line. Boy, man, get the bleep out my face. You ain't my bleeping daddy. Shut the bleep up. You might imagine what would have ensued. Some disrespectful words being volleyed back and forth, sometimes some aggressive behavior. It occurred to me that these boys were totally unaccustomed to male authority and male accountability.
I want everyone to subscribe, like, and share this video as we grow this channel. Thank you for your continued support. Back to the video. This video is based on an article I read, and it's entitled, Children from Fatherless Homes, Most at Risk for Mental Health and Behavioral Issues. Now, this article is based on a report, and in the article it states that 1 in 4 children don't have a father in the home. And let me explain the significance of that number. If you compare us to China, China has a rate of 3% of children that don't have a father in the home or a single parent home. When you put all the countries in the world together, they have a rate of 7% of children don't have a father in the home. And when you fast forward to the United States, roughly 25% of children don't have a father in the home. And that's an important number because a lot of our societal issues, a lot of our societal problems come from children who don't have fathers in the home. For example, 90% of homeless and runaway children, 85% of children with behavioral problems, and 70% of teenage pregnancies come from children that don't have a father in the home. So let me read a little bit of this article to you. Data from the Department of Justice suggests that even though this group comprises just a quarter of all youth, 63% of youth suicides occur in fatherless homes, as do 85% of children with behavioral disorders. The link to crime and incarceration is also clear. Some data suggests that fatherless kids are 20 times more likely to be incarcerated. This is what the report states. And reading further down, it states, it also reveals that the absence of fatherly guidance is a far greater factor in youth delinquency than the absence of a father's income. The issues associated with broken homes, and especially with the absent fathers, are well known by professionals in the field. The report states, quote, 71% of teachers and 90% of law enforcement officials state that the lack of parental supervision at home is a major factor that contributes to violence in schools. A 2022 poll showed that 84% of Americans believe a strong family is the foundation of a strong nation. They also believe that parents bear the primary responsibility for raising their children, or at least they should. Only 11% said that raising children is a community responsibility. 65% were convinced that children who grow up fatherless face significant disadvantages in life. So this is my message to the mothers and fathers out there. If you're a man and you don't want to be bothered with your child, you need to reconsider. Because don't go out here making children if you're not trying to take care of them. Because not being there, just not being there in the home, has a drastic effect on the child. And for you mothers who are keeping the children away from their fathers, you're just as bad. Stop using the children as pawns, because when you're trying to hurt the father, you're more so hurting the child, because you might not love the dad, but the child has a void in their heart, in their soul. So if you're one of those mothers, stop it, be humble, and give your child the best opportunity to love and to be loved by both parents. Now I have another video for you. This is about an NFL football player. Actually, this was a while ago from one of Oprah's masterclass videos, but it was about an NFL football player. He was in and out of his son's life. And throughout that process, it developed mental issues for his son. And when they went on the show, the father explained, his side, what was going on. He said he hasn't been there for his child. And then Ayanna Van Zant, she came to where they were sitting to talk to the child. And this is where the video starts.
Look at him. Tell him how it felt.
Horrible.
It felt horrible that you left me. Tell him.
It felt horrible that you left me.
It made me feel like I was a mistake.
It made me feel like I was a mistake.
And how did you feel about him? Tell him how you felt about him.
Well, I loved the person that I never seen.
And that made you feel what?
Like I wasn't supposed to be here.
Now, what do you want to tell him now that he's back?
That I love him.
And?
That I want him to be here.
And tell him he doesn't get to leave you again.
You don't get to leave me again.
And to play with my
And
heart.
to play with my heart.
I need you.
I need you.
And I want you.
And I want you.
Don't disappoint me.
Don't disappoint me.
The report also says the effect of fathers being absent was staggering, with children having far worse overall mental health and behavior. These children are often burdened with lower self-esteem than other children, and they do not understand why their fathers abandoned them. This leads to a number of emotional problems like anxiety, social withdrawal, and depression. And it also leads to an increased risk of suicide and other forms of self-harm. So parents, once again, don't leave your child. Don't hold the child away from the father, because in the end, it hurts the child, not only through their childhood, but throughout their adulthood. That's if they don't get it resolved. But like I said, it ends in a good way. So I want you to take a look at this video and see how it ends. And actually, I hope a lot of more parents model this.
I felt like something was missing. There was part of me missing when I left Chicago. So, I prayed about it, and I built up the courage to ask Brandy, can he come live with me? And she said yes, and now he's here today.
All right, Brandy, the bishop just talked about how mothers would do anything for their sons. How hard was that for you to say, yes, he can go and live with you?
It was so hard. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do in my life. And I'm getting emotional now. I miss him so much. But I realized it was something that he had to do because he wanted a relationship with his father.
Let's give Brandy a round of applause. We're gonna stand up for you, Brandy. We're standing up for you. All 15,000 of us, we're standing up for you, and we're standing up because so often women use the children as, y'all know what I'm talking about. Bishop says, you say, many mothers use their children as a switch to punish the fathers.
Absolutely, and if you've ever seen anybody use a switch, the switch gets beat up too.
Whoa. Say it.
So what you have to do, a lot of times the relationship between the woman and the man didn't go well. She is so angry over who he was not to her.
Yes.
That she does not realize that it is possible for me to not be successful with you and still be successful with him. Those are two different skill sets between being a good mate and being a good father.
I had to really look within myself, and like the bishop said, I had to set aside the feelings, my own personal feelings about his dad, and do what I thought was best for our son, because I didn't want him growing up resenting me for not allowing him this opportunity.
Now little Avion he gets both. Look at how much she loves him. He gets the love of his mother and the love of his father. I do think we need to say this, that every man who fathered the child is not like Avion Sr. He cannot always be trusted. If he is a substance abuser or he may abuse the child in some way, then you are wise to add that layer of caution. Every man isn't like that, but what I am saying is don't allow your personal bitterness to make you an unjust judge of whether it's safe for your child.
That was absolutely beautiful. For the fathers out there, where the mothers might not think that you're relevant, or others might not even think you're relevant, let me tell you this, you are everything to that child. And for the mothers out there who are making those sacrifices to do the best you can so your child can be in the best position, I salute each and every one of you. But I thank you for tuning in to the channel, watching this video, and stay tuned for the next video. You take care.